This is a Final Fantasy XIV Iceberg, and I thought it'd be an interesting idea to cover it. I originally came across this thing on Reddit posted by papayatulus, which I believe they created, so thanks for this. It's kept me interested for a while for sure. So before we get cracked in, a quick overview of what the hell we are looking at here. An iceberg is used metaphorically to describe the beginning of something unraveling, hence the phrase, the tip of the iceberg. The tip shows theories or information that may be considered known, but in this case, even some of these can be obscure. As we descend further, it gets crazier, murkier, and into complete fan theory. A quick disclaimer, I don't know all of this, but I'll give it a good shot of where I think they're going with it. There will be spoilers riddled throughout all the way up to the end of Shadowbringers, so if you care about that sort of stuff, viewer discretion is advised. So grab a coffee, a tea, an orange juice, whatever, and let's get started. So the journey begins. Hornbill is Emet-Selch. This is a common theory that Emet-Selch takes on the visage of a shoebill throughout Shadowbringers as he stalks our party. If you haven't played it yet, you should look out for him. He's all over the place. To all but confirm it, he is a drop from the final dungeon in the story as a minion. Original Viera, voice 7. Viera! Yeah, this voice was a weird one. Did they just grab an old lady for this? She just reminds me of when Sideshow Bob gets hit with the rakes. Nevertheless, I'll have what she's having. This voice got pulled and replaced, thankfully. Beardless Cid. 1.0 Cid. You can see them in the Realm Reborn trailer, and we also got a look recently during the Bozja questline. Pixel Dodge. You can dodge AoEs while having part of your body in them. This is due to our hitbox being in the middle of our character, so sometimes getting hit on the leg or arm is fine. Ixal or Allagan. This is based off of our time in the Fractal Continuum. The Allagans made the Ixalian to look after their stuff, which didn't look like it went down too well. The Ixalian look a bit like Ixal, but with feathers. It is then stated that the offspring of these things evolved into Ixal over the 4 millennia, and somehow the current tribe isn't aware of their past. There's way more lore available with the Ixal on their journey back home, and it's worth a read. Edda's Ghost. Yeah, this creepy chick can be seen in random places throughout after you complete the Tamtara Hard questline, which is some of the best work they have done. Some great lore and hidden things on this questline, and worth a look. 1.0 Black Shroud. This was an absolute mess. Repetitive, mazy. Bahamut done us a favour here. Clip onto Cliffhanger. Cliffhanger is a gate in the Gold Saucer located in the round square. You can jump onto it when it isn't available by approaching it from this angle when you aren't meant to be able to. A-posing. Early Realm Reborn had this weird bug where you could hold onto your emote and move with it. Ruru's video shows it off way better than I ever could. Link is in the description. Estinien facial swap. Did anyone notice Estinien felt a bit off after his face reveal? Garland Tools confirmed he changed his face. God knows why. Gold Saucer visible. You can get a peek of the Gold Saucer in Southern Thanalan. This, however, will be trivial once you can fly. Comfort Misery. Misery is a debuff from the gremlins in Lost City of Amdapor and can be cured with a comfort emote. I wish there was more Easter eggs like this one. Some good stuff in here. Retainers in Overworld. They're out there gathering robbing houses for all to see. If you're into your gathering professions, you've probably seen one near your nodes. You can see them at cliffs, fishing as well. Crystarim 2005 tech demo. E3 2005 had Square Enix show off their new game engine. I've uploaded it as a separate video if you want to see it in its entirety. Links in the description. GM Jail. This is the instance you get pulled to if you've been a naughty boy. It was rife in the Realm Reborn launch when there was more than one of them employed, usually for tasteless character names or you've been a bit of a douchebag in chat. Open Air Wedding Chapel. Not exactly sure on this one. I think it's to do with this image, released to support a Valentine's event that was canned. Either that or an expansion to weddings featuring this carriage. Cloud Strife Dialogue. When you look into chat options, our main man from Final Fantasy VII explains how they're used. There's also an appearance from Tifa. Every Primal is fought alone. Did you notice that on cutscenes we're always alone yet form a party to defeat a Primal? I'm not sure on the consistency of this versus everything else we do in this game, but that's what it's referring to. Yugiri is a Miqo'te, or in this case, was a Miqo'te. When she was first introduced, the Aura weren't done yet, so they used the Miqo'te model. Hidden Gilgamesh in the original soundtrack. The Final Fantasy Twitter account put out a hint that there was a hidden track in the original soundtrack release. It was a protected file with the password Gilgamesh, thus releasing Battle on the Big Bridge. Backmasking in Tam Tara Hard theme. Yeah, this one's just for giggles. I've uploaded this one separately if you want to give it a full listen. There's loads of other weird things to do with this dungeon, and this was just another attempt to find something else. I can't hear anything. Housing Void. You can bug some things in the house to have access to more space, but it's a big black void. I've not messed with it, but I've often seen jump puzzles created with it. Video in the description from Nervash. Meol is just bread. I mean, it looks like bread, so it's just bread, right? Right? Probably, I mean. Pixies turned into beavers. Questline located in Il-Meg. The real reason is why. A mystery best left unsolved? Or is it? Dun Scaith Ultima. Proto-Ultima found his way into Dun Scaith as a trash mob for all intents and purposes, but he started life as a promo event. He was then thrown into Dun Scaith for everyone to see. He replaced the succubus, which people kind of missed for some reason. I didn't think she was that exciting. There was always a theory that you could still fight this succubus as long as everyone had completed the quest, but I think that was debunked recently. 000 Titan Clear. This one's kinda cool. Titan is the fastest duty to complete in the game unsynced. It involves you pulling Titan with your pet and insta-killing him for 1 second kill. Needs to be one hit, or he jumps away for his heart phase. King Moogle's self-kill. Back when this was current, you took the Moogles to low health as the big fella was immune. You then pushed the phase by killing one or all of them if you can manage it. Big Papa Moogle then sacrificed his own health to bring them back. After a few phases, you'd often end with 10% or so health left for the final burst when he can take damage again. But if you're good with your initial burst and do some good damage to the Moogles, he can kill himself. Nowadays you can achieve this easier by unsyncing. Warrior of Light is a Primal. This theory has been going on for years, and it all started with Ifrit and Garuda's lines during the Realm Reborn main story quest. The Primals are made stronger through belief, and as we help more people, are they believing in the Warrior of Light? Are we getting stronger from the hopes and dreams of others? Does EXP mean nothing to you? Interesting theory that's lost legs in Shadowbringers. Maybe we're a beast tribe ourselves. Earth's Fount Extreme. I'm not exactly sure, but there is a little bit of backstory here. Earth's Fount was released in FanFest 2014 as an event, and then we got it towards the end of Realm Reborn. There was no extreme difficulty, but the fight was harder than the normal trials at the time. It also doesn't feature in Trial, so is it extreme on its own right? Koji Fox Vocals. Our pop culture inspired translator spits lyrics from the band aptly named the Primals, who do some of the themes for the game. He voices all the Moogles in the King Mooglemog theme, which is probably what this entry is referring to. Ishtola's Aether Sight is killing her. Once you get pulled from the livestream, you lose something. In the case of Ishtola, it was her sight and is now blind. She's using Aether Sight to see, and when you meet Matoya, she confirms to Ishtola that she's on borrowed time. 2B foot amputation. Complications with the 2B glamour. It's kinda gross. Xenos died in Ala Mhigo. Fan theory that we'd done the dirty on him in the dungeon. I reckon this is just someone copying the Squall really died theory from Final Fantasy VIII. Crowd Noise Lalafell. This little cretin's been pissing me off for years. Stand in a crowded area of players with ambient sounds on, and some white noise chatter starts, featuring this Lalafell's laughter. Corpse drifting. Haven't seen it in years, though through certain circumstances, usually involving a disconnection, you can move about when you're dead. Now it's getting harder. Chocobo summoning in-house. I really don't know about this one, and if anyone does, please enlighten me. Desynthing minions. I possibly overlooked this one given its depth on the Iceberg, and I was considering if you could desynth an actual minion. However, I think it's just how you obtain the Assassin's Fry, which requires you to desynth ninja betas. Used to be Culinarian desynth, but now I guess anyone can do it. Nanamo really died. Similar to the Xenos theory, except this one is more skewed to Nanamo being an Ascian, but she has shadows, so probably not. Miqo'te hidden ears. Funny how all the hairstyles cover where the human's ears would be, isn't it? I mean, how did they keep their glasses on? Hobgoblin Nightmare. Hobgoblins are found in Kalusia, their first appearance on the beach, but this is to do with the minion text. Yeah, the retainers got it tight. Selling this is cruelty. I guess it explains the A-Rank's name though. Total Rack Hard Mode theme. The hard mode theme used in later dungeons is a remix of the Total Rack theme. I was associated to the Bravelogs hard theme given the amount of times I run it back in the Realm Reborn. Fattest Cat. This one is in Scala. There's a weird Easter egg. The cats are against us. But guard some are blood in Mordona. I have no real idea. My only guess is the crystals were not in Mordona until the confrontation we started this game off. The crystals are made from his aether, which metaphorically could be his blood. If it's not that, then let me know. I remember reading that Silvertear Lake was holding blood ether, and that he was protecting it, and that's where the 1.0 story was going to go, but I can't find the source. A8S Temporal Loop. Another unsync here. If you fail the 4 robots part of the fight, it just resets instead of insta-killing you. Kinda funky, since I don't think any other boss does this. Thancred's still possessed. Another theory that the Ascians still have him. In A Realm Reborn, he was possessed when he had the black necklace on. I'm sure nobody believes this. West Shroud. In our current world, it's there, just a bit messed up. Victim of the Calamity. In 1.0 though, it was a fully fledged location with a bridge and other bits. It was supposed to house an unreleased dungeon called the Moontie Cellars. There is a feast map here in Lickenweed, so I guess there's some of it left. Lee Gaia door pattern. Some madmen think they can predict the doors to get through to the next room, when the real theory is that this is all premeditated and the doors don't matter. I prefer to believe I can choose the right way. You can't kill the magic for me. Estinien bathing scene. Final Fantasy XIV has bando culture. This one is based on this tweet. Now it's filling with memes. Peeled or raw. I mean, it must have started fully scaly and then you rip them off after birth. That's my theory anyway. Xenos Sahagin theory. So this has legs. As Xenos acquired the Echo, he can now jump between bodies similar to the Sahagin in the Leviathan cutscenes. It explains the post-Stormblood story, so will we ever defeat him? Crystal Tower upside down. The Chrysalis shows off what looks like the Crystal Tower at the back of the arena with the shards all around it, but it's upside down with Zodiac on top. When you go to the Meteor phase, it's the right way up. So does that mean Zodiac's under the tower? Gold Saucer ambient sounds. Land of the happy, but when you kill the sounds apart from ambient, you hear some creepy PA system. Kinda the opposite to what the rest of the tone is like. Harshaphone portrait. Not sure, so I'm going to go with either this or this. Final Fantasy XIV engine developed in Roblox. Of course it's not, but I did find this. I can see the similarities already. The combat is just as engaging. Apartment 91. Apartment blocks have 90 rooms, so maybe there's a 91st. It's probably connected to creepypastas, to dodgy hotel rooms or whatever. Probably a meme. Hunger bar. Minecraft is a hunger bar. We can eat meals which gives us a buff. I guess it's a hunger bar. It's probably a meme. Mahjong 5th player. Mahjong is in Final Fantasy XIV, and I feel this is a reference to the actual Mahjong game itself, where there must be something to do with a 5th player. I don't know the rules, so I can't expand much further than that. Unique Scylla robe. The Scylla robe is available in caster and healer. It might be a rub on it being the same. Is there another robe that looks different? Unique throws me off. No Z-axis. Z-axis is the vertical parameter, so this one takes us back to 1.0 again when you couldn't jump. It's pretty sad. Powerman 5000 copied Soken. A meme based on Soken copying Powerman 5000 on the Sephiroth theme, which is compared to Where Worlds Collide. I remember there being drama on this, but they denied knowledge of the song when they made their version. It does sound familiar though. All Namazu are Lalafell. Yeah, I can see it. Exarch Clone. Time travel, baby. There's Graha on the source and Exarch on the first, so there's two of them. Hence a clone, I think. It's probably not this. If you know what it is, please let me know. Reflection textures. I started thinking it was to do with mirrors and their lack of reflections, but now I think it's to do with this live letter talking about DirectX 11. Do you remember that? I'm pretty sure we got scammed out of gorgeous reflection textures. Dress up flash game on Mog Station. I think this is a feature people just want. Get a try before you buy. There's a model viewer out there though, so you can mess about with that. Triple Triad empty card. Yeah, this one was just a bug. A little bit spooky. Dialectics of Baldizon Arsenal. This must be to do with how this got worked out. It requires a lot of people doing a lot of different things to attain the same conclusion. So the support group doing their bit, the split off groups doing their bit, and then in the end, they defeat the common foe. Stone, Sea and Sky numerology. This feature was added to see if you can pull your DPS weight. Only a guess here, but every class's health number is different. Rodri revealed some old numbers here. How can this add up to the boss's health consistently? Ultimate Coil of Bahamut strat found in Voynich Manuscript. The best meme on here. The Voynich Manuscript is a piece of text that is yet to be deciphered. Hence, the strat was never found, and we came up with our own. Thancred Infertile. Our B tier sign was a hit with the ladies, but it has nothing to show for it. Is he infertile or just careful? Did he lose his fertility when he lost his Aether alongside a Garlean? I don't know, who knows? Wandering Minstrel Sentience. Now we know that he's Yoshi P, but did you know about these codes when he took on the game years ago? I dug up this old post from Kaiser Soze in 2012. Pause the video and read the entries in red. He knew what he was doing. He was the one that was going to save the game. Black Parse. FF logs related. Parses are assigned a colour depending on performance compared to others. Black doesn't exist? Or does it? Is it good or bad? It's probably bad. Palace of the Dead RNG sampling uses number stations. Similar to our Ultimate Coil of Bahamut one from earlier, number stations were used during the war to send encrypted messages that we couldn't parse. Basically, we have no idea how Palace of the Dead RNG works. Lord of Verminion tournaments. They don't exist. Final Fantasy XIV is turn-based. Two theories here. One is that everything happens on its own as in sequence, suggesting that technically the game is turn-based. Or two, there was no auto attack in 1.0, which made the game feel turn-based given how slow the combat was. Roulette Synchronicity. If you queue separately at the same time for larger roulettes, you often get put together. Must be something to do with when you queue and what type of trial or raid the dungeon is looking to fill at the time. It's a bit spooky. It's either that or you take your eye level down and get Crystal Tower every time. Guild Test Parallel Universe. You complete these in real world locations, but you never see anyone doing them when you're out and about. Just a rub to that. Simultaneous Aurum Veil. This is driving me nuts. It's either something to do with the assets that never get used from the Bloodshore dungeon being used in the swamp area, or connected to the 1.0 relic grind which required you to Aurum Veil in under 17 minutes while getting all the chests. Maybe it's connected to the dungeon being run a lot and you entered the same room like 5 times. I don't know. If you know though, tell us what it is below. Final Fantasy XIV 0.0. I think this is just some spooky thought. If you want to dive into what this might have been, then start with the 2005 demo that was called Rapture and read into what the Rapture project was. Between 2005 and 2009 when Final Fantasy XIV was confirmed to be Rapture, there isn't much there to find. Or is there? Featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series. Yep, he's there, SMT Nocturne reference. And that is it, my take on the Final Fantasy XIV Iceberg. This was a bit of a long one, and if you got this far, please consider liking the video and dropping a sub if you enjoyed this kind of content. Hopefully there'll be some constructive comments below discussing these theories, and I apologise if I was way off with some of them. It's for entertainment, boys. I ain't a scholar. I'll see you on the next one.